Coffee all the way!
Hey guys, today's day 55 of training, out here stepping. In one of the earlier videos I said, and we'll have snow. Oh, here's the snow. So, they're talking about a record snow year this year. That'll be entertaining to say the least. They say that every year, so we'll see. So the Transcendent Traipsing channel is doing amazing. I'm blown away by all that, and I thank you. Thank all of you who have subscribed and watched our videos. This morning was cold. It was 28 degrees. Well, I got up around 4 o'clock and it was around 23, 24 degrees. And it's also the first weekend of rifle season, and there are a lot of hunters in the woods. So I didn't go out bright and early to have a little bit of respect for them, but I am out here, and I picked a trail that I didn't think many hunted up in here, but there's quite a few footsteps, so they're out in here somewhere. They're probably laughing at me right now if I'm walking by them. We'll get 4 or 5 miles in today for training. I started calisthenics. I can't say that word. Calisthenics this week for weight training. My body mass is big enough that I really don't need weights. So I've been doing squats and lunges and calf exercises. Also trying to strengthen my muscles along with just walking. So that's been interesting. This morning coming up that hill, which I always come up, I could feel my muscles, they were tired. I wasn't tired, I did fine with the hill, but my muscles were like, what are you doing to me? So we'll see how that goes. I'm still rocking these Black Diamond gloves, and this one I have the windscreen over the fingers, and this one I don't, and you can definitely tell the difference. This hand's a lot warmer, so that's pretty neat to see. I just got my topos with the Injinjis and a darn tough like summer sock on, and my feet are actually cool. I mean, they're not cold, but they're cool, and everything was dry. So I'm a little concerned with that, because you know, if you get wet or your feet start sweating one day and then it freezes overnight and you wake up and it's snow and you have wet socks, I'll have my sleep socks, which are a really heavy sock for sleeping in to keep my feet warm. So that's nice to know. So in a day like that, I probably just put them on. I have no thermals. I just have my hiking pants. My legs were cool, not cold. My core is warm, actually. I'm not sweating that bad. And I do have my sweater on and a windbreaker. I figured that'd be too hot, but it's not. I haven't stripped it off, so that's been very good. Everything's working really good. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. Right now the temperature is probably in the mid 30s, probably like 33, 30, well, it's probably 36, 38, because the snow is dripping out of the trees, so it's melting. But as you can see here, it's still very crusty out here in the snow. Yeah, other than that, I think the system will work in the cold. Again, I keep coming out here to test myself because I want to practice with this gear out in conditions that I might see in February on the Appalachian Trail, and I don't want to be snowballed by that. No pun intended. Just weird words come to my brain. So there's a really cool beaver dam over here. This has been an active beaver dam this year. Been pretty neat. We see beaver tracks in the summer, and they were pulling branches across the road and everything and building that beaver dam. There's a little one right there, but they got this all dammed up. It's pretty cool. You know, it's really weird. I live in a very special area, and you forget how special, you know, the area you live in is. And you go out and you see this stuff, and it's like I live right here. Oh, you can actually see. This is a beaver right here. I don't know if you can make that out, but you can see where the beaver's been pulling branches into the woods, which is really cool. He pulls them down this road, and then right into the water there. So he's actually, I don't know if it got cold enough where they were sleeping, but they're not. He's still very active. I don't know, pretty neat. Yeah, so, you know, I live right here, and until this training, you know, I don't do much. You know, I don't get out and experience this, and I forget the beauty that's right here. And I hope to experience a whole lot more of that on the Appalachian Trail. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to, is just seeing different terrain, different, I don't know, biomes, whatever you want to call them, and experiencing it, you know, out in nature and enjoying it. So we'll see. My system seems to be working really good. A few tweaks. I might run a little heavier sock, you know, for like a everyday sock, not my sleep sock. I'll run a sock that's a little thicker in February, I think. I mean, my feet aren't cold. They're not cold, they're just cool. And I'm concerned that if my feet were wet, they would be cold. And I don't want them to be cold. I don't do good with cold feet. When my feet get cold, I get grumpy. I don't do well with cold feet. Well, the bears are still out. This is a bear track, fresh, probably this morning sometime. I'm on my shoulder mount, but it's a good sized bear. But that's a fresh bear track headed right that way, and I'm actually headed down this trail. I'm headed down through here, and I'm actually going to be taking a left. I'll see if he crosses up there somewhere, but they're not sleeping yet. That's pretty neat. Oh, here's my trail right here. We take it my left. Yeehaw. My apologies. I'm having fun with the prints. This is a deer print. It's a big deer. This was not this morning, so it was sometime yesterday's is all melted out, but he went right down through there and out through the woods. And it was last night. It was a good sized deer. Oh. Yep, still right here. It's really weird to see him dragging his hooves like that. I mean, deer usually don't do that. It's kind of weird. That's really weird. And here's the bear. This is the bear print right here. You see his pads, you see his toes. You see the toe, his pads of his paw. I mean, that's a good sized bear. Oh, look, you can see his claws in this one. See his claw marks up in there. Yeah, you see all of his toes. This was this morning's. This one's not all melted out. You can't see the leaves. You can see where he stepped on the snow, and the snow hasn't melted. I mean, this was early this morning sometime, and he went up in there. And this trail actually goes up and around, so I'll see if I pick his tracks up again. It's pretty neat. Well, that deer walked up the trail probably 300 yards. And now he just turned and went right up over this bank. Up, and it looks like he went over that log. Human prints. Not my human prints. I just noticed I was pushing up over these hills, and I was like, man, I don't have the push I usually have. That's because the other day I was going downhill, and I'd stretched my poles out a good 2 inches, and I got to reset them. It's crazy how much little push, you know, how much it makes a difference in how much push you can get on your poles. going uphill if they're too long. And you know, noodlehead me just barely recognized that. It's like, why can I not get the push I normally get? It's because the poles were too long and my forearms were too high. They weren't down by my waist. You kind of want your forearms level, and that way when you're going uphill you can really push. You have a lot of strength pushing. But if your arms are too high, you lose push. You don't have as much strength on the above 90 degree. So that's fixed. Note to self. These are hunter tracks. You can see where he walked out and he's walked back through. You can. And this is about 2 miles in, 3 miles, 2.5 miles in. And this trail goes all up. And these topos are doing really good. I got my gaiters on. The gaiters have actually produced some warmth for me, which has been nice. And they have really good traction. They've been doing really good. I mean, the ground isn't frozen yet. Mother Earth is still thawed, so it's not completely frozen solid with snow and everything. Just look at this view. I mean, it's so beautiful out here. Like, I can't even express it. Like, just a week or two ago, we had all the beech leaves are still on the trees. We had those 2 or 3 nights of 20 degree weather and some rain and some wind, and it just cleaned those beech leaves off. So now you get woods that you can walk in and see out through and see the mountains in the background and experience all that. And that's another reason why I really want to start in February. I have no problem hiking the Green Tunnel. I think that's pretty too. That won't be a problem, but I really like to see views. I really enjoy it, and starting in February also allows me to do that down there and experience some of that beauty. Here's another bear track. Bear track here. Headed that way. It must be that same one. It's that same one. He came up through, right down through there. Come wandering up through. Went right up over there. Oh. It's weird. Another deer track right here. The bear and the deer are like following each other. Literally. It's kind of weird, actually. I don't know what's up with that. Huh. Another deer track. Right here. Interesting. Oh. And another track. Huh. That's interesting. This looks like 2 deer. 2 deer. This is actually that buck that came up over. You see he's dragging his hooves in the snow. I would bet my bottom dollar that's that deer track we saw down there with the dragging of his hooves. Those are doggy prints. I don't know where they go. Sorry, just so much fun out here in the snow. Fresh snow, seeing all the tracks. So much fun! It's so much fun! I love it. It keeps me from stepping though. It keeps me from stepping. This is like the highest point on this. In the summer you can't see all this. It's all leaves. But today you can see it. I've come way down off that ridge line up there, which I have to hike back up over. Come way down off this hill, I gotta go back up on that hill. But there's been no deer tracks or anything down in here. It's really neat how there's been nothing moving down in here. I've gone a couple miles, haven't seen anything, and you guys have probably had enough of animal critter tracks, but it's neat how that all changes. My feet are doing pretty good. They're cold. I had to step in a few puddles. There's just no way around them other than bushwhacking. I didn't feel like bushwhacking. And it's a test. My shoes are actually soaked now. I mean, they're wet. I had to step in a couple puddles. This one's not as wet, but and that leads me to question, you know, the use of waterproof shoes. You know, the hiking community is a huge debate over, you know, waterproof shoes and just trail runners, because the trail runners dry faster and all this and that. But I know for a fact, if you had a nice non-worn out, like new waterproof trail runner, my feet would not be wet today. There's nothing out here that would have wetted them through. So, and my feet would be a lot warmer and dry. But I understand that. I do get it. You know, you have a rainy day and it's just raining hard on you. That waterproof shoe is gonna wet out. It's gonna wet out and get drenched, and your feet are gonna be wet anyways. And they do take longer to dry, for sure. We've experimented with that. I don't know, so many mixed feelings whether or not a waterproof shoe would be valuable to start out with in February compared to just the trail runners. I mean, I plan on running these shoes, you know, out the gate, probably get new ones, or even these exact ones, but I don't know. Just things I'm thinking about while I'm out here. Old foundation. Do you imagine being here? Like, I'd love it. So I just want to do a quick rundown of the gear I'm wearing out here today. So I have my hoodie. Now, I originally planned on wearing this at night. This will probably be replaced with the Mountain Hardwear fleece Jen just got me. But this hoodie is really nice. It has the thumb holes, which I've actually fallen in love with. They just keep the sleeves down. They keep this part of your hand warm. You can pull this hood up over if it gets really cold. So I'll have this in my sleeping set so I can wear this if it's really cold. And then I just have a wind jacket, but this would be my raincoat if I needed to wear it. And then obviously this is for hunting. I won't have this out on the trail. These pants, they're very thin. They're very thin material, but I was totally warm with them. I can't stand. And then I just have the topos, these topos that I'm running. And I have the gaiters on the topos. Everything's totally drenched right now. My shoes are drenched, the gaiters are drenched, everything's drenched. They just absorb water. And I originally hated these gaiters, and I'll do a review on them, but I have come to really like them. And the other thing is my body is changing so rapidly that it's hard to put a fingerprint on exactly what I'm going to be taking in February. And then I just have a sports shirt, a short sleeve shirt underneath it, and that's all I wear. I have my hat and I have my buff with me, but I'm a New Englander. Like, unless something changes, the buffs are weird. Like, I know I'll want the buff if I'm sitting and I'm like making lunch and stuff. I know I'd want it, but like hiking and stuff, I don't know. Like, I just get really hot with them on, so we'll see how that all plays out. But I do have one with me, and I think that it'd be a nice piece of gear to have. So Hope that helps. The other thing that, you know, I drive a lot all week when I'm for my profession, and when I'm driving, I'm not listening to the radio. I mean, every day I am doing all I can to listen to audiobooks, podcasts. Mighty Blue on the Trail, love him. I love his interviews. He's so heartfelt, and he asks these really cool questions. So I love listening to him, and I love listening to all the people out there. One thing I've learned this week is that I've started strength training because I listened to a couple physical therapists talk, and I'm not going to give names or anything, and I'm not giving any recommendations, make that clear. But I've started strength training because the two physical therapists that I listened to, they said that that's one of the biggest mistakes that thru hikers make, is they go out and do all this walking, but they don't do any strength training. And so if you're in a place that you can walk, but you don't have a lot of elevation change, you're not hiking mountains. So I'm out here walking, and I have a lot of elevation change, but I don't have a lot of mountains. Like, I don't have a lot of stairs and stuff to go up. I'm not hiking a lot of mountain trails. That strength training is huge, and a lot of people don't do it. So I've started strength training, mostly squats and lunges and my calves, and I've got a couple exercises I'm doing for my ankles. And then also they all said, don't forget your upper body and your core. Like, most people just strength train their legs, but your core is huge. It's very important to you, and you need to do your sit-ups and all that other core. The core training is very important as well. So I've started that, and it's fine. It's hard to find time for all that, but you just got to, for me, I just got to do it. I mean, to get myself prepared for that trail. So I hope that helps. Oh, the one other thing the physical therapist said, that most injuries that they see from thru hikers, because they were both physical therapists that took care of thru hikers, they said that the biggest injury they see, most common, is caused by improper stride. So you get out there and you want to hike with somebody, or you want to keep up with someone who may be more fit than you or may have a longer stride than you, and you constantly over accentuate your step trying to keep pace with this person. And they said you really can't do that. You know, you really got to have your own pace, or the person you want to stay with, if your pace is slower, that person has to be respectful of you and walk with you if that be the case. But you're overstretching your stride or just pushing too hard on each step, like just reaching out there trying to keep pace with that person, can do a lot of damage. The benefit there is my sister and I and my wife, we all have a pretty similar stride. So it's not, you know, it's not too difficult to, you know, for us to stay together, because we all have a very similar stride. So that's a huge win for our group that we're hiking with. And that, you know, if you want to hike with a person and they have a totally different stride, to not do that. You know, just hike your own stride. You got to find that stride and not hurt yourself. And they were talking about how you can't have your heel, you can't be stepping so far that your heel's smashing the ground and then going forward. You got to find that nice place where your step is, your foot's landing flat and not smashing your heel into the ground. So I don't know. Again, I'm not giving any recommendations. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I've been listening to, and I found it very helpful. I'm sure this place looks familiar. This is where we did our introductory video. I didn't expect to come out this far, and if you watch that video, you know how far I'm out. I took a few other trails to get down here, so I'm not 6 miles today. I'm at about 4.5, almost 5. But this is where we're at. I didn't expect to come down here, but I was so far down here, and I'm having so much fun. Like, it's just a beautiful day, and I have a little bit of time today, so I'm taking it. I'm taking it because I need this. I need this, and I need to do this training, and I'm so at peace when I'm out here. I can't explain it. I cannot explain it. It's just, to me, it's just so peaceful. So with that, this is why right here, like, I want to see more of this on the AT, on the Appalachian Trail. I want to see the beauties that it has to offer. All of them, good and bad, the rainy days, the sucky days, the good days, the amazing days. I want to experience it. I want that experience in my life. So let's do it.